I've realized that counselors are making a difference by being a volunteer on a disaster action team. As a disaster mental health volunteer, when I arrive at the scene, I almost see a sense of relief of the other team members. They know that not only am I well-versed in how to help survivors cope with whatever the event may be, but I'm also there to provide assistance to them. And when I've seen that counseling has really made a difference, it's being on this team. It's being able to pull somebody aside and say, hey, are you doing all right? It's being able to say, using my counseling skills, do you need to take a break? I've also noticed that disaster volunteers, and a great example I can give is during a drill that we did at National Airport just about a year ago, is that during this drill, disaster volunteers, not people that specialize in mental health, were actually walking up to me and walking up to our team and saying, what do I do in this event? What do I do when someone's crying? What do I do when there's a family that speaks another language and I can't understand them? How do I communicate with them? What if a translator's not available? And we've been able to give these volunteers information that they needed in order to do their jobs better. About 2 years ago, I began to research disaster mental health, specifically the emotional effects of shelter in place. Currently, right now, I'm doing a disaster simulation of the detonation of a dirty bomb and the subsequent response strategy, shelter in place. This research is essential at better understanding how do everyday citizens deal with confinement. What do we do in a contamination disaster when the option of going outside is just not feasible? The purpose of this research is to look at sheltering in place and see what, if any, adverse effects are. A secondary purpose of this research is to look at emotional provisioning. If we provide people with coping skills, does this help? Does this help mitigate any adverse effects on mental health? And the reason that this is important is to supplement the coping strategies that we have out there, the resources that we have out there for our community. In the event of a contamination disaster, or in the event of a disaster where it's unsafe to go outside, we want citizens to be able to have a toolkit, things that they can do. My work at the local level makes me feel extremely connected to my community in Arlington County, Virginia. Working on an emergency preparedness advisory board, almost as the voice of mental health, has really helped me open their eyes to the importance of special populations. For example, making sure that information on emergency preparedness and that our response plans are fully understood by assisted living facilities, not only those for elderly persons, but those for individuals with severe mental illness.